This week's Next Time Try This segment is brought to you by VintCo. Keep the ride going. We're inside Louie's shop, and what we want to talk about today is how to repair damaged threads that could be on an axle or another important bolt on your bike. Louie's behind me. He's setting a few things up. We're going to take a look at it, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you can repair those threads at home. What kind of files would you, in fact, what kind of files do you have right there in your hands that you would be using on this thread repair today?
Well, there's two different types. Old school, old timers use just a triangular file because most threads are at a 60-degree angle, and the file is 60-degree angle. And you can see how that fits in the thread.
At the exact angle.
At the exact angle. And repair the damaged spot, which is right here and here. They're flattened out.
Okay.
This works well and inexpensively, but you have to do one piece at a time. They do make now what's called a thread file with several different threads on it. This particular one seems to be, is that the one? I can't see.
Looks like it is.
And it says here that's 9 threads per inch. And you can do multiple threads at one time.
So you would make this repair on the lathe with that type of file, and for somebody at home who doesn't have a lathe, they would use that triangular file. Can you give us a little display of how this would work on a lathe right now?
I would use the lathe because I have one and it's available. And as I run it, I can just hold the file and let it run down, But if I didn't have one, either file, you would just use like a regular file.
We can see the damaged part of the thread right here. Louis has highlighted it a little bit for us. You can see where it's a little flat.
I'm going to show you first is the nut. And you can see it goes nice until it hits that damaged area. Then it doesn't want to go anymore. And we'll turn on the lathe. And then it's important not to hold the file straight, but kind of on the same angle that the thread is. And that's just by eye, and it's not really that particular. So I just hold it on here, and much like a nut would go down, you can see where it's grabbing when it's hitting the bad spot.
How many times will you go over it?
I'll just go a couple times and then try the nut. And I'll keep going until it doesn't grab. And we'll try that and see what it does. And it's still grabbing there a little.
Okay, so we need a little bit more.
A little more. And it's almost there.
Couldn't be much better than that.
You could go a little more and it would spin right free, but I would be happy with that.
What if someone didn't have a lathe like this and they just had an axle like that or whatever they were fixing in a vise if they didn't have a lathe? How would they approach that?
Kind of basically the same, but rather than the bolt turning, you would move the file. And these are a double cut file. They cut both ways. So you just line it up, and it's a lot of just eyeballing on the angles. And then you look at where the bad spot is and just kind of go, you don't want to go right straight either. Kind of follow the thing around, just wherever you feel the bad spots. The old timers didn't have stuff like that. And you would do the same process. If it was nicked on one side, of course this is a single cut file, so you would just, wherever the bad spots are, and keep looking at it till it blends in with the original thread. Patience. Patience and trial and error. And it'll spin right on there now.
And there you have it.
You've got to have patience.
That's it for our Next Time Try This segment tonight. I want to thank VintCo for being a sponsor of this segment. VintCo, keep the ride going.